Hi, I'm Naomi from Wandavan and this is our van Wanda. She is a Renault Trafic high top long wheelbase, so she's 2 meters 6 high, she's under 6 meters long, so she's the perfect size for parking, dogs and couples. Let me show you. So as with any living space, the two most important things pretty much are your kitchen and where you're going to sleep. Particularly in a van of this size, it was really important to get as much storage and as much functionality as we possibly could in the space available to us. And the feedback so far is we've done a pretty good job on that. So the kitchen, obviously we didn't take the bulkhead out, but the kitchen extends all the way around here. And most people, when they first come in Wanda, think we don't have a fridge. Incorrect, we do. This space here holds the fridge, which hooks over here, and it's really deep. You've got a basket for eggs, baguettes, other things that are the staples of a kitchen van diet, such as mostly pancake making materials, and you can store, and I have tried this, 6 bottles of wine, no problem, in the fridge. So that's crucially one element where I think a lot of campervans struggle to kind of fit in. We've got the sink, which is made out of a French jam pan, and the tap was bespoke copper, turned on here. And if I just turn the water pump on, feels like this. All the way underneath the sink we have got a myriad of cupboards. We have got the cutlery, and the cutlery comes as standard when you hire Wanda, so you don't have to kind of think about whether you've forgotten your whisk or your masher or anything like that. That all comes as standard. Washing up facilities, and also where the chopping board is kept. This is one of my favourite features, in fairness. You can see at the bottom it's routed out. It fits perfectly on top of the sink. So basically kind of doubles your work surface area where you're chopping and prepping, and you can just keep the stuff you don't need into the sink. At the bottom, when you hire Wanda, this is basically kind of like your man drawer. In here you will find all the instruction manuals if you really want to read them for some reason, if you struggle sleeping, about every appliance that we've got. You'll also find the hookup cable, the hose for filling the water, and this bloody clever innovation. The water is located here. Pulls out on a handy wheel to unscrew. Put it there, screw it back in. Slap it away. It's really simple. If you are going away for slightly longer, or you're going off grid, we've got jerry cans in the back if you want to borrow them from us to fill up with extra water in case you're going away, so to say, like Scotland while camping, and you want to be able to not go to a campsite. We don't have an oven. What we have is a 2-burner hob. Pretty standard one. It lights, it boils coffee, it does eggs. It's pretty standard, but it's amazing what you can cook on 2 hobs. In fact, if you want things to think of cooking, Wanda comes complete with a whole variety of different books you might want to check through. This one's really good. I highly recommend this for one pot stuff, easy cooking outside, and I believe there's a really excellent recipe in here for ginger cake. Technically, yes, you can't make the ginger cake in here, but you can do it beforehand to bring with you. One of the other books that we recently picked up is called The Extra Mile. It's by Alistair Sorday, who you will probably be familiar with, if you're doing kind of bit of quirky kind of places to go and stay and around the UK. Because much as we'll love a service station, sometimes Costa and Starbucks can get a little bit tedious. So you can basically go in here and you can find out places to go and eat that are local. Most things are sort of hand produced. It's all fresh, say local ingredients, that are basically a mile or two away from the service station, and usually you can find somewhere else to go and sort of park up and spend a really nice time there. So if you're out and about on the road, highly recommend. If Starbucks is your thing, fair enough. If you want something a bit different, this is in the van. If you want somewhere else to go. Heating is a really important decision when it comes to having your camper van converted. Pretty much people go with no heating. Propex gas heating, sometimes a wood burner. We went for the Propex option. So the control is mounted here. All you do to knock it on is switch it to the on position, pick your heating, it will fire up, and you can hear it whirring now. The gas basically comes out heated through a vent in the floor. There's one here, and there is one behind the sofa here, which means the person sleeping here in the middle of the night is really nice and toasty. The great thing about the heating is that once you set your temperature, it will actually control itself and regulate itself. So we've been out in the middle of winter when there was a lot of snow everywhere. It was really blinking cold, to be honest, and it will just kick on in the middle of the night just to kind of keep you tops up, which is really, really handy. And because it's gas, it's really, really cost effective as well. So it doesn't really cost us, you know, too much to heat yourself for an entire week. And the great thing as well about hiring through Wandavan is that we do not charge you for the use of the gas. So it's really important when you have a camper van out on hire to the public that you adhere to the gas safety regulations, and you've got a landlord gas safety certificate. We obviously do have such a thing, and in order to get that, there are a couple of things we needed to do to comply with it. Firstly, although we would have put this in anyway, we have this rather large sky vent in the roof here, which opens, and if you particularly want to, you can put the fly screen across there. I have driven inadvertently with this open and it doesn't fly off and break, although I don't recommend doing that as standard. We've also got an additional mushroom vent in the top here. We have a vent at the back of Wanda, and we have an additional vent in the floor there. That's really helpful, particularly to stop any kind of condensation or the van getting kind of moist, everyone's favourite word, in the middle of the night when you've got the heating going. So it's really nice, constantly keeps everything circulated and gets rid of any kind of funky smells as well. So one of the great things about Wanda, we think, is the amount of storage that we've managed to fit into a relatively small space. So you've got masses of space above the bulkhead. These bungees, you kind of can push things through. You don't have to undo them, but you can if you particularly want to. It kind of extends all the way down there. That's kind of where we shove socks out of sight. But obviously the storage also extends to this one, to this one, to this one. You've got storage under the seats here, which is where we do the bedding. I will show you that a little bit later on. We've also got drawers out the back, which I will show you as well. You have got cupboards, obviously, under the cooker. Our singing kettle, I won't put it on now, but please do check out our Instagram for a video. It is the most musical kettle I have ever seen in my entire life. It is worth hiring her solely to make a cup of tea, to be honest. Check out that post. I find it very entertaining. So one of the things that we're most proud of in Wanda is the lighting. They are completely bespoke and they're made from copper pipes. They turn on and off like this. I mean, I really like them. I could just keep going for hours, to be honest. And they also swivel on a bevel, in case you want to angle them. And that kind of works the same for all of these. Obviously, even though they've been on, they're warm, but they're not overly hot to the touch. And you've obviously got them at the back. You've got them under here. We have them above the roof, and we have them at the front. We kind of went a bit mad. We really like the lights. So again, in a relatively smaller space, or particularly a van where there is not a fixed bed, it's really important to not feel enclosed, to make sure that you can have as much floor space as you possibly can do. And we feel one of the most successful things is the table. So the table pulls out from here. It's basically a full-size table you can get, and we have tried. Kind of, I think 5-6 people. I mean, that is a push, but you can get them all around here. Playing cards. Incidentally, bananagrams and Uno come as standard in Wanda. And it literally just folds away exactly the same way. Let's push it down. Put the lanyards back in. Jobs are good. So I guess one of the reasons that people hire a camper van is so that you can get to many different places. So you'll probably be spending a lot of time out and about, doing lots of different things. But this is a really cosy van, we think. And of an evening when it's really cold, or you just are exhausted from a day's hiking, or whatever it is that you've been out doing, I think it's really important to be able to have a kind of cosy feel. So we put in a speaker sound system. It's basically compatible with Apple, it is compatible with Android. You use it on Bluetooth, and the sound system comes out here and at the front, so you can basically listen to anything on Spotify that you particularly. We've also got a 12-volt socket here and a couple of USB charging points for obviously recharging your phones, tablets, anything you like really. Follow the indie projects at all, you may have seen our floor before. We are super stoked with it, to be fair. It is made from reclaimed and recycled pallet wood that has been split, thinned and laid ridiculously accurately, diagonally, and it's something that we're really, really proud of, and it seems to be that a lot of people are liking it too. Obviously, sometimes when you're on a campsite or out camping, doing anything really, you've got to do the essentials, such as straighten your hair. If you need to do this, we have got a solution for you. Firstly, please make sure you are on hookup before using them, but you can use one of these two 240-volt plug sockets that we have here. So there are many different configurations of bed that you can get in camper vans. See the rock and rolls, pretty standard in their VWs. They're kind of finger slatty beds. I've seen in a lot of van setups. We really wanted something that would make the sofa comfy when you're sat on it, so this is actually at an angle when you're sat down as opposed to being completely straight up. But the bed is incredibly simple to do. Literally, take your cushions, undo the Velcro strips here. This probably would have your bedding in it, pull it out. Bed. Base folds over to here. This one comes down to meet it. And your cushions go on top like that. And you can get 2 people. It's a small double space. Very comfy and cosy in this space. So yes, we are in the cab of Wanda. It is not the most sexy or glamorous part of a van tour, but it is kind of important. There are a few things you should know about Wanda. Firstly, she is a diesel, so please don't put petrol in her. That will make her very unhappy. She has 6 gears, and the reverse is literally a pull and a push up the top there. She has got air conditioning, which is really handy obviously in the hot summer months when you are driving around, and she has got sat-nav with inbuilt EU maps. That's particularly great because you can take Wanda on an adventure around Europe, so unless you have a particularly in-depth knowledge of the routes and roundabout negotiations of France or anywhere else, that we have found particularly helpful. She's also got reversing sensors, so if you're not used to driving a longer vehicle, it's really helpful to know that something will scream at you if you are getting a little bit too close. Wanda was made to be an adventure van. We spend a lot of time hiking, kayaking, climbing, doing general outdoor stuff, so it's really important to have both practical storage and a lot of it. In the back you will find a very long through cupboard here, so if you've got the kayak and you need to stow your paddles, they can go all the way down there. in here at the moment, we've got the table and chairs, which you can hire from Wanda. You have got a very, very, very large industrial box here. The great thing about these, I find, particularly if you're going surfing, you can actually pull these out and you can fill them full of water, and you can put your wetsuits in them. You can even use them to stand in, kind of have a wash off. So that's really, really useful for us. And you've got 2 drawers at the back here, which are absolutely the perfect size for ropes and an entire trad rack. As I said, you've got your final door going right through the back there, where we can store the other jerry can full of water. So one of the great things about Wanda is that she has got 2 really large solar panels on the top of the van. This means that when you are out while camping, or in fact any camping whatsoever, you do not need to go to hook up. The leisure battery obviously is charged by you driving, and the solar panels also charge the leisure battery. Basically, you've got a lot of time and a lot of capacity to go wherever you want without needing to think about whether you're going to get charged, which is really, really important. Obviously, if there is no sun, and because you're in England, you can use the standard hookup points, or if you're on a campsite where there is hookup, it probably makes just as much sense to use it as to not. Wandavan is based in Worcestershire in the West Midlands, and it's a really great location because it means you're really not far from anywhere really. Whether you want to get to the mountains, whether you want to get to the Peak District, that's about an hour away. If you want to get to Wales, 2.5 hours. From the south coast, it's about 3. So we're in a really great location to kind of escape the Midlands and get as far away to the remotest corners of the UK, or indeed Europe, as you particularly want to. We really hope that you would like to hire out Wanda. If you would like to, here's the blog. Go to www.wandavan.co.uk. You can follow us on Instagram, surprisingly Wandavan. You can find us on Facebook at Wanda Campervan. You can email us at hello@wandavan.co.uk. You can call us. If you particularly want to write, you can do that either. So there are many ways to get in touch and hire out this van for your next adventure.